All right, guys, before we start the video, bit of a disclaimer. This is actually the day before I'm going to put out the video. I had most of this recorded last week, a little less than a week ago, and turns out editing is a lot harder than I thought it was. But the work has been put in, thanks to some help from some friends. I believe we've got a quality product for you, so ignore the fact that we're a week behind, and just remember that this is a draft recap, which we could do at any point in the season. So here is the draft recap. A little late, but not too late. Please enjoy. Welcome to the first edition of my weekly recap of the best damn fantasy league ever. It's the name of our league, the best damn fantasy league ever, and it's freaking true. Why am I doing this? Because our league is hilarious. We've got antics, competitiveness. It deserves a channel, and I just think that we will find it entertaining ourselves, and maybe others will find it entertaining as well. Now, this video is a special one, not just because it's the first one, but because this is the draft recap of 2024's draft. This is a analysis of every single team in our league. Now, I won't be ranking anyone or giving any criticisms, anything like that of anyone's squad. This is more or less an attempt to find out what your strategy was. How were you approaching this draft? And I do believe everyone had an excellent draft. We're all great fantasy players. This league's been in existence for 14 years. This is my 12th year. It's not an easy league to win. So we all did really well. And I just want to go in and figure out what you were thinking. And we're going to do what I was thinking too, which is part of the reason I'm doing this video also was I wanted to document a strategy I wanted to deploy this year, which was the zero pitching strategy. Now, why would I go zero pitching? I'm going to have a whole bunch of videos about that throughout the season, keeping up to date what I'm actually up to, what pitchers I'm dropping, picking up, things like that. But I wanted to document this draft because I just don't like pitching in drafts. I think that pitchers are erratic and not only injury prone, but prone to serious injury, as in when a hitter gets hurt, sometimes he gets a hamstring injury, takes 15 days to fix, and he's back. When pitchers get hurt, it's usually a lot worse, and we pay the price pretty big. Anyone that drafted Garrett Cole before drafts were really getting started, I mean, we didn't have to worry about that. We knew about the Cole information, but some drafts he was taken in the second round, and that stinks for those teams. Spencer Strider, I hope he's okay, but when it's not okay, it's really bad. And I've got other reasons for not drafting pitching, but that's not why we're here. We'll get to that later. The main point is to go into our league. Start thinking about what everyone here is up to. Now, another reason I want to do these videos is because I absolutely love baseball. I have since I was 5 years old. It's never left my heart. I just love talking about it, reading about stats, hearing stories about players, and I figured it's about time to do something about it and have a little fun with an internet channel. Grow the channel along the way, making the channel better. I'll be constantly buying new equipment, doing stuff to figure out how to make this more fun. So a nice outlet for the band that I'm in. We record lots of music, and every single time you hear some music on here, it's going to be us. So if you like the music, please let us know because musicians love compliments. Also on the channel, which will always be baseball related content, I will be doing the Immaculate Grid on a daily basis. If you haven't played the Grid, it's a very interesting, fun baseball game. If you have a lot of baseball knowledge and numbers that you don't know what to do with, head over to the Immaculate Grid and it'll ease your pain. Be doing a little bit of DFS, and of course, as mentioned before, I will be following my zero pitching build strategy on a week-to-week basis every single Monday. Brand new material for us about the league where I'm going to be going through each and every matchup, and we're just going to talk about how maybe you went 9-1 that week because you obliterated the competition, or how maybe someone lost on a freak play at the last minute. It's all up in the air. And if you have any suggestions, please hit me up. Provide your own audio or video content. And I do plan on having some interviews. Be ready to be asked to be interviewed at some point. And if you're down, it's going to be fun. So, with that said, let's move on and get into the 2024 Best Damn Fantasy League Ever Draft Recap. We're going to get started with the number 2 pick in the draft. I happen to be the number 1 overall pick somehow. So, I'm going to analyze my team last. Seems only fair. Let's get started with Tommy Chong Surgery. Fantastic name. Play on Tommy John Surgery. Not sure what a Tommy Chong surgery would be unless it's just Tommy Chong going through surgery. So, love the name. Patrick Damasco, team owner. You went with a strategy that I'm going to call the balanced strategy because you came out of the top few rounds with a bit of everything you needed. I love that you took middle infielders right out the gate. Mookie Betts was obviously a great pick, but he wasn't the obvious pick there. A lot of teams were not taking Betts there, taking Bobby Witt and such. But it's, even Julio Rodriguez could have been the guy you took there, but you went with Mookie and it's paying off. The positionality, especially in a daily league, second base, shortstop, outfield, very nice. Lindor, he's solid as they come, coming off of a career year, 30-30 year. I'm into that. I'm into what you've done. One thing that you did that I normally wouldn't do, but I can't say I'll never do, is you were the first team to take a closer. Now, somebody had to do it, and you did it, and you took Josh Hader, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I'd love to have the sure thing that Hader is. He basically pitches a lot of games, and he's always ready to get the save. So good on you there, mate. Solid mix of hitters and pitchers. Got to say, Wheeler, Valdez, Justin Steele. Steele might be the steal of the draft, but in reality, he really might be. He was a Cy Young candidate all year last year. 8th round. It's very nice. As for the best value you've gotten so far, your draft pick of Marcus Stroman in the 23rd is definitely paying dividends right now. 12 innings, not a run given up, 10 Ks, 0.33. He's pitching like an ace, and you got him for basically for free. That's the best value. The player I'm scared of on your team that I'm going to call the one to watch for is Jared Kelenic. What I like is the move to the Braves. He's going to be able to sit back and not put so much pressure on himself, just provide with what, anything the team needs to win, and the Braves are going to win. And in that relaxed atmosphere, I think he's going to break out post-hype sleeper style. I'm watching him this year. Kind of regretting not taking him there because he was on my list and I almost pulled the trigger, but I went in a different direction. I think you did well there. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do against all the other teams and then failing miserably against mine when we play. So we'll move on to the next team now. We now will take a look at the number 3 overall pick, the Hackensack Bulls, ran by Wesley Amos. Now, I'm going to call this the smash and dash strategy. Why? Because he's got a lot of homers and a lot of stolen bases right out the gate. Bobby Witt, 50 stolen bases last year, 30 home runs. You got Albies who could very easily just go 25-25, 30-30 even. Nolan Jones, no telling the potential from him. And I wanted him. I chickened out and took Goldschmidt. I think I'm going to regret it later. Nice pick there. That's around 100 stolen bases in the first 5 rounds. And in the process, you took an ace. And it's Corbin Burns, who's as consistent as it gets with a new team with Baltimore. I really like what you've done here. Your best value player so far this year might be a little odd pick for me, but I'm going Abner Uribe because it's pretty clear he's taken over that role left by Devin Williams, and you got it in the 24th round. People are out there paying high draft value for closers, and I think you hit it. Now, his ERA and WHIP aren't that great right now, but what I care about, he's getting the saves. And this is a small sample size, so when you've pitched 5 games, 5 innings. He's given up 3 runs, but I see 3 saves, and that's what I would like to have. I don't care how you get them, just get me the saves as a closer. Now, the player that I am most concerned about that I'm watching out for that I think could really do some damage to the league, and I will have my eye on is Nolan Gorman. 12th round, a second baseman with massive power, post type sleeper here. He it could literally just come out and be the guy who everyone thought he was a few years ago, which he's not that far removed from being a prospect. Let's take a peek at his stats real quick. Well, he's already got 3 home runs this year. Not too shabby. He hit 27 home runs last year with a 328 OBP. In his first near 700 at bats, he had 41 home runs. So he's on a 32 home run per 162 game basis. I think he's ready to break out, and he's the player to watch out for on your team. And nice work, dude. Let's move on to the next team. Next up is a very special player to the league, our beloved commish, Tony Marinello. Not only is he the commish of the league, he's a 3-time champion and a huge reason, if not the biggest reason, why we've been able to keep this league open for 14 years. Amazing. Team Polar Bear Express, named after the best player of the best team in the world, the New York Mets. Tony has gone with a strategy with what I'm calling the Tony strategy light. We all know through the years, Tony goes after the greatest power hitters in the world. He always has, he always will. And he did it this year. But he did a light version of it. Believe it or not, he took 3 pitchers in the first 8 rounds. Whoa, that's a shocker. I expected 1, maybe 2, but 3? Whew. As you'll see, Rodriguez, power. Lonzo, power. Seager, Garcia, power. But then Glasnow, which has worked out nicely so far. Cease in the 6th, looking for Cease to cease being shitty like he did last year. Jazz Chisholm, great 7th round pick. And then Snell, another pitcher. Then Tony brilliantly drafts Shane Bieber. Bieber was off to a great start, and then he did what I believe pitchers do. He got hurt. And that sucks for you, Tony, because that was a really good pick in the 11th round. Former Cy Young Award winner. We'll go straight into his best value so far this year, which has been Nate Eovaldi. 22nd round pick. This guy, as of filming right now, 1.38 ERA, 0.77 whip. Fantastic stats. Great value so far. You can't beat it. 22nd round. That's why I love pitchers late, because you just don't know. It's a lot harder for hitters to do what Eovaldi has done as a pitcher here. Now, the player I'm watching out for the most, we're all watching out for, it's Chris Sale. We love him. Everyone just, he's nasty. He's Randy Johnson-esque. And you got him in the 12th round. The Braves signed him, and it looks like a perfect fit. If Sale can actually keep it together injury-wise for one season, you just got the steal of the draft possibly. He doesn't have to, thanks to quality starts, he doesn't have to win a lot of games. He can go out, throw out 5 innings, get 9 Ks, give up 1 run. You're happy with that. And at that round, very nicely done, dude. Watch out for Tony, because you just always have to watch out for Tony. He's in it to win it. We all are, but this man takes it personally. And with that said, we move on to our 5th overall pick. Our 5th pick in the draft, Machine Gunner, owned by Nick Allen. His team is named after his newly acquired superstar Gunnar Henderson in the 3rd. His draft strategy, I'm going to call it the value strategy. Why? Because it seemed like throughout the draft, you're willing to just take whatever needed to be done, whether it was a catcher, first baseman, closer, starting pitcher. You did what you needed to do. And I can appreciate that. It's always a solid strategy to take what the draft's given you because you did have a middle pick. Taking what everyone gave you was giving you lots of great talent. Starting out with four hitters out of the top 5 rounds, I love that. I love the talent you got. Tel Marte at second base in the 5th round was a great pick. Sure, I'm not drafting pitchers early, but Logan Webb in the 4th round to be your ace. He is the most underrated ace in baseball. He has ERAs of 3.25, 2.90, and 3.03 the last 4 years. And just no one seems to give him the credit he deserves, but you might have a Cy Young Award winner on your team this year. Best value so far? Easily Reed Detmers. 24th round pick. Let's take a look. 2-0, 1.64 ERA, 11 innings, 19 strikeouts so far. Getting incredible value from him. Congratulations on that pick. I actually wanted him, especially with my strategy. I didn't bite fast enough, and you did, and it's working out for you. I could be looking like a genius, but you are instead. And the player to watch out for, I'm scared of Marcell Ozuna right now. 40 home runs and 100 RBI last year in that Braves lineup, hitting in the middle of the lineup in the 10th round. Man, you're getting some huge numbers for a 10th round pick there. So I've got my eye on him because this man will probably hit 40 home runs again. He's going to put a hurting on the league. So well done. Nicely done with the draft. When you have a middle round draft pick like you did, I think you went with the right strategy. I do look forward to playing against you, just not to losing to you. So hopefully my weeks go better than yours when we play each other. And we'll now be looking into the 6th team to draft this year, Mookie's Way, which must be a play on Milky Way, I'm guessing, owned by Alberto Avila. Now, he went with the go big or go home strategy. What do I mean by that? I meant he just said, I'm going big or going home. Freddie Freeman and Austin Riley are big time players with big time pop. One thing I like about them, Freeman, 27 home runs per 162. Riley, 36 home runs per 162. But more importantly, the last 3 seasons, neither one has played less than 159 games. So you're probably going to get your numbers from them. And then you went big with pitching. 4 pitchers out of the next 5 picks, and you were not scared to draft Yamamoto even after watching him in that first series that played before our actual draft. He gave up 5 runs, and you said, I don't care, and he has been money for you since. That's nice. Best value so far, you also went big with Giancarlo Stanton. Now, you didn't have to go big with the draft pick, 18th round, but you have gotten 3 home runs out of this former amazing slugger who he's probably still an amazing slugger. He's had problems staying on the field. Age 34. He's not old yet, and he's still got all the pop. He just can't stay on the field. If you can get 130 games out of him, he could be the player to watch out for even. I'm giving that to Christian Yelich. Yelich, I believe, is back to his old MVP ways in the 6th round. You've done well for yourself here. He had a comeback here last year, and I think he's permanently back. And in the 6th round, you might be getting anywhere from 3rd to 1st round value the rest of the year. Congratulations on that. Uh, we thought he went missing, just like his doppelganger, Pete Davidson. He just won't go away. That'll take us to the number 7 overall pick in the draft. Team Lohman, owned by Joshua Lohman, who went with what I am coining the Big Bats Young Arm strategy. I know, super, super crazy titles here. Now, what I'm talking about with the big bats, Tatis, Harper, that's great in the top 18. I mean, 2 superstars with your first 2 picks, fantastic. And then knocking out the middle infield with old double A battery, Abrams and Altuve. Nicely done, sir. We'll get back to your 5th round pick later, but we're going to talk about your young arms, Grayson Rodriguez, Cole Reagans. I really, really like those guys, and I'm extra special jealous of Cole Reagans. If I was to take a pitcher within the first 10 rounds, it was going to be Reagans. The Welch on Fantasy Pros absolutely loves him, and so do I. After that, now back to your 5th round pick. He's the best value so far, and it's obvious and it's not even close. Mike Trout, one of the greatest players of all time. You got him at a value because everyone's scared of his injury history, but he's only 31 years old, I think, and if there was ever a time to jump on it, you did. And fifth round, that's an incredible value for what he's been doing to the baseball so far this year. I chickened out when it was my turn in the fifth. I could have taken him, but I went plain vanilla Goldschmidt, and I'm regretting it so far. I hope I don't in the end. I hope we both have great seasons from these guys. I'm watching out for Shota Imanaga, another player I wanted. Thought I could wait a little longer on him. I didn't get to. So I hope you and Imanaga and Reagans are happy together and hope you have a great life and stuff. Like, whatever. So on to the next pick, which is our number 8 pick. It's that Texas boy, Anthony Gigliotti, with the low risk, high reward strategy. How did he do it? Let's take a look. Carroll Endeavors. You're getting an average of 30 home runs, 25 stolen bases a year when you combine those two with strong OBP. Uh, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Bo Bichette, solid at shortstop. And then with the pitchers, what you get out of Kirby and Nola is a lot of innings pitched. And since this league's stats are based off of quantity, you're getting a lot of batters faced with these two. And therefore, I'm thinking you're going to get at least 400 strikeouts out of these two pitchers this year. Low risk, high reward. And then Cody Bellinger in the 6th round, perfect value. Another example of low risk, high reward movement there. Players up and down the board. Now, yeah, sure, you took Garrett Cole, but that's low risk. 14th round, high reward if and when he comes back. Could be freaking huge for you. Jordan Montgomery, low risk, 17th round. He's better than that. High reward, signed with Arizona. Good for you. Same with players like Jorge Soler, 9th round. Could be 30 to 40 home runs as usual for him. Best value so far? I'm going to have to go with free agent pickup, Dean Kramer. This man has a 2.19 ERA, 0.73 whip. We know he can be good, and it might be his time to be good. I think that's your best value so far, and he might be the one to watch, but I'm going to go with a veteran as the player to watch on your team. It's Salvador Perez. He's only 3 years removed from leading the league as a catcher with 48 home runs and 121 RBI. That's huge. He could do it again. Now, is he going to hit 48 home runs? Probably not, but 33, 35? Sure. I've got my eye on him. It was an excellent pick. You got him at the 10th round. And with that kind of pop, with that kind of position, not to mention that Salvador's going to be playing a lot of first base and DHing this year. That's going to just give him more at bats than your average catcher. Catchers need days off. He doesn't. His days off or playing not catcher. But they still want him in the lineup, and you're going to get that all the time. So that was nicely done there. Team's looking good, man. Let's kick it over to the 9th overall pick in the draft. Boys in the Dugout, owned by Adam Oakes. He went with the SBs and SPs strategy, stolen bases and starting pitchers. Right out the gate with Trey Turner and Jose Ramirez. That's going to be 25 to 30 stolen bases from each of these guys. Ramirez doing that from the third base position, that's always extra nice. Then went strong with the pitching. Gallen, Gossman, Peralta. That's a nice core three to have. Finished it off with Musgrove, and then who knows, you dropped Eduardo Rodriguez. He's been hurt. I picked him up. I've got him on the IL. We'll see how that works out. You did snag a few players that I like. Paredes, Christopher Morel, I'm a big fan of. I think he could easily hit 30 home runs from the 16th round there. That would be very nice for you. As far as your best value player so far, it's a free agent pickup. It's Brady Singer. Brady Singer has been nice this year. 13 innings, 14 Ks, 2 walks, 0.68 ERA, 0.53 whip, already 70% rostered. Nice pickup. That's got to be the best value so far. Not even having to draft the guy. Nice. The player I'm watching out most for on your team is Christian Walker. He's got 35 home run pop in his bat. You got him at a nice pick. Sixth round for the kind of power you're about to see. He's on a very good team. We all underestimated that team last year, and now the Diamondbacks are they're just quality, and Walker's is their big bopper. So that's who I'm looking out for. I owned him last year and loved it. I'm a little jealous, but you can have him this year. I'll take him next year when he's a third round pick because he's a hitter. Now on to the 10th overall pick, Mr. Soto Dolo. Team owner Chester Smith has gone with the OBP MVP strategy. Juan Soto, the king of OBP, right out the gate. And then Olson, another strong OBP candidate with tons of power, of course. A Rosarina is not going to hurt you there. Machado had an off year last year with an OBP under 320, but his career average is more like 340. I expect him to be more in that range. Glaber had a 347 OBP. Look for this man to lead the league in that category this year. And you get Skubal in the fifth, potential Cy Young Award candidate. He's got the stuff, and he's looking good so far this year. That's a nice snag for your first pitcher. And Eflin's coming off of a career year in the seventh round. Way to round out the top of the pitching staff. Way to knock out some really nice hitters in the beginning there. Your best value so far this year has been 23rd rounder Jose Siri. Why? Because he's stolen 6 bases for you and has a 404 OBP with a home run. That you can use that. And you saw it coming, apparently. You saw something coming because you're the guy that drafted him in the 23rd round, and he has worked out nicely. Now, the player to watch out for is a player that you know I wanted, Michael Kopech. 20th round. He's looking like he's going to be the closer this year. He's throwing fireballs. He's got 2 saves. He's a starting pitcher who could get saves, and you know I want that on my team. I was about to draft him. When you did, I pulled out a Darth Vader. No. I'm going to be hating that pick for a while this year. I did get my guy, but I think that's going to work out really nicely for you. Hit a bomb with co-owners Waite and Quiggs, the legends themselves. They went with what I'm calling the gambling man strategy. And that's not a play on Otani. It's a play on Strider and pitchers. Sorry, you know me, I hate pitchers and I consider him a gamble, but I cannot blame you for taking Strider. He's the man, and hopefully he's not as badly hurt as it looks like, but that's why I think it's a gamble for pitchers. And Otani is not a gamble. He might gamble on himself, but didn't mean you gambled on him. Oh, you also gambled on O'Neill Cruz in the fifth round, but I really like it. I think he's going to play much better than that. I think he's going to outperform the fifth round. And you also gambled with Langford in the seventh. That's a rookie. It's seventh round, so it's fine. I don't mind it at all. Leading candidate to me to win the Rookie of the Year. But you weren't scared. You took a chance on Yuri Perez. He's now out with season-ending Tommy John surgery. But you gambled, and sometimes you gamble and you lose. But I was totally prepared to take Yuri myself in that area. He was going to be the first starting pitcher I took if you didn't take him. So I can't blame you there. I love gambling, so I say go with it. Your best value so far, I don't know how you saw this coming. Well, maybe we all could have, but Bryce Terang, former first round pick by the Brewers, he's already got the league lead in stolen bases with 7. 22nd round with second base eligibility. If he steals you 30 bases, you've already got all the value you need. And he's definitely been a value so far. The player to watch out for most on your team was not drafted by you. It was picked up by you. Everyone's talking about him. Jared Jones. He has the stuff. He's throwing the ball well already. I've got my eye on him because I'm going to really be mad as a team that's going with the zero pitcher strategy to have missed out on somebody like that was on free agency. So I hope he fails you miserably. I'm kidding. Great pickup. And it's time to move on to the last pick of the first round, number 12 overall and number 13 overall, the hilariously named Honey Nut Cheerios, after their new player, Jackson Chorio. They went with the sluggers, prospects, and wait and see pitching strategy. I know it's a little long winded, but it's what it is. They took big bats, Judge, Jordan, Robert, Adley, Arenado, stayed away from pitching other than taking the fun combo of the Diaz brothers as closers, which that's just cool. I like that. More hitters, more hitters. Didn't draft a pitcher again until the 13th round, which is where, as you'll see, I drafted my first pitcher. It also looks like you're doing the wait and see approach with the pitching, just hoping to get by until the middle of the season, which I can't blame you for. Verlander, Scherzer, Paul Skeens is going to get called up at some point. Around the All Star break, you may have the best pitching staff in the league if everything goes well. And that's saying something. You kind of did the zero pitching strategy against me, and I appreciate that. You also took some top prospects, and that can really work out for a team. Jackson Churio is supposedly the real deal. Junior Caminero didn't make the team out of camp, but he'll be there eventually. And Paul Skeens, the number one overall pick out of LSU, he's already got major league stuff. If he gets called up, we're all going to be super jealous of you. Only problem is in a daily league, you're going to have to hold him on a bench spot. I think he's going to be worth the hold. Whoever drafted Jackson Holiday, he just got called up today, and they are loving their draft pick. So Skeens could be called up anytime, especially if Pittsburgh is a contender, which they have won some games this year. Look out for Skeens. Your best value so far, it's got to be Spencer Steer. Out the gate hot, 3 homers, 489 OBP, couple stolen bases. He's scoring runs, driving in runs. He's not only that, he's got the positionality you love. First base, third base, outfield. He can move around. And I wanted him. You got him. It happens a lot. I wanted a lot of players. Can't have them all. But I'm definitely regretting not getting Steer. And the player to watch out for most on your team is the player your team is named after, Jackson Churio. If he has even 3/4 of what Julio Rodriguez did in his rookie year, then you're going to have everything you ever wanted from him. I'm going to keep my eye out for him. Probably going to offer you a terrible trade for him if he starts to slump, so don't accept. Accept that trade. It's going to be a good offer. And we are finally on to the last team, which is the first team, the first overall pick. It's my team, Chris Keck, Keck's Flex. Why the name Keck's Flex? Because I guess this is my flex on the league, showing that I can go without drafting pitcher for 13 rounds. The zero pitcher build strategy is obviously the direction I went here. It's the motivation for why I even wanted to start filming this was I wanted documentation, and I'm going to keep up with this all year with separate videos. But let's get back to my team draft, and then we'll talk more about what's about to happen with the channel. Why am I doing this? Why did I decide not to draft pitchers? Well, I used to pitch myself, and I know that pitchers can be erratic, but more importantly, they're injury prone and serious injury prone. When a hitter gets hurt, sometimes a hitter gets hurt for the season, but a lot of times it's a hamstring injury, out 15 days, and he's back on the field. When pitchers get hurt, it seems to be way more serious. They miss half the season, if not the full season. The DeGroms of the world, Garrett Cole this year, hopefully not Strider for you, but it just seems to happen too much. And they come off of big years, which means they threw a lot of innings, and then we're drafting them high, and we fail to realize that they might be worn down. I'm going to try to take the guy that's either coming off of a bad season who's had success before, or young arms that haven't had Tommy John yet. Now, as you see, I had the number one overall pick, and I had to take Acuna. There just wasn't a choice. And, looking back, sure, there was a choice. I could have taken Mookie Betts there, but no one in the world was doing that. And I wasn't going against the grain on that. And I'm sure I'm going to get a great season out of him. No problem there. I am the kind of guy that likes to take care of middle infield, and I took care of it quickly. Simeon, De La Cruz, just get it out of the way. De La Cruz in the third round. I think this is the last time for a while we're going to be able to see him outside of the first round. I think I got a good value. Just he's a super talent and just fun to watch. Even if he doesn't have the best year, I will have fun watching him play and pulling for him. And then obviously, I just started taking hitter after hitter after hitter. I didn't stop until I got to Mason Miller. Yes, Mason Miller, because we all know I got to have that starting pitcher with the saves. It's my thing. I'm into it. I'll be jealous of Michael Kopech all year, but I got my guy Mason Miller. I don't just love him for this reason, although that is the main reason I took him there. He also plays for my favorite team, the Oakland Athletics. I will always love the A's, always have. But an even bigger deal to me is the college I pitched at was Gardner-Webb University, which is where Mason Miller pitched at, which I never thought I'd see a major league player come from that school, other than myself, which there's still hope. I'm only 43. So Mason Miller throwing 102-mile-an-hour gas for my favorite team as a starting pitcher with saves abilities. I'm taking it every time. And then that's when I gave in and started saying, let's get some other pitchers. Pivetta, Barrios, Hunter Brown, Kyle Harrison, McKenzie, Savale, all really good arms, and it's been working out pretty well so far. Not that I gave all your teams this much analysis, but it's a lot easier for me to look at my team and say something about him. Now, Miller got his first save last night. Harrison hasn't pitched badly. Savali's been fantastic. I picked up Montas, picked up Blanco. McKenzie hasn't been half too bad. I mean, he had a bad start, but he came back strong. Jose Barrios, he could be great. 1.5 ERA, 1.13 whip. He's got the stuff. So we're going to keep up with that all season. Now, as far as player with the most value on my team so far, it's got to be Savale. Savale, what round did I get him? I think the 23rd. 23rd round pick, providing these kind of stats: 18 Ks, 17 innings, 2.12, 0.94 whip. Um, Tampa Bay turns anybody into a good pitcher. I don't care who you are. If Tampa Bay signs the player, watch out. Zach Eflin was the guy last year. I think Savali's the guy this year. We'll see how it plays out, but that's my best value so far this year. And my player to watch out for is a free agent pickup. Ronel Blanco threw a no-hitter. Did I own him when he did? No. But I picked him up, and he threw a one-hitter in 6 innings the next time out. Has he been dominant with the Ks? No, but he's obviously pitching amazingly. 70% owned already. I think we're all watching him. We want to see if he's the real deal. Anytime someone throws a no-hitter, you want to see if they can turn that corner and become great. It usually doesn't mean anything, but it was his first start of the year. And since that concludes the recap of my team, that concludes the recap of the 2024 Best Damn League Ever Fantasy Baseball Draft. Now look for all sorts of content on my channel. It will all be baseball related. I'll be doing DFS content, the Immaculate Grid. If you haven't done the Immaculate Grid, it's a really fun baseball game. Just Google it. If you have tons of baseball knowledge in your head with numbers floating around and don't know what to do with it, go there. It will ease your pain. And I'll also be doing videos about how my zero pitching strategy is going. More importantly, every Monday, I'll be coming out with a recap of what happened in our matchups that week. If you finish 9-1, you'll probably be the lead. We're going to talk about all things: free agent pickups, trades that are made, trades that should be made. I'm going to ask all you guys if you want to do an interview. We can do a video or just audio interview and talk about this game that we love. Please, along the way, just have fun enjoying what I'm providing, because I really want to do it just for us. If anyone else out there is interested in watching, I wouldn't blame him because this league is great and I find it to be unbelievably entertaining. You guys, thanks for the support. It's going to be a long year, but the good kind of long year. And as always, send me a trade. Send me a trade.